echoing, am I?
No, you're good.
All right. Hey, everybody, we are live. So sorry,
Finally.
everyone, about the technical issues. Like I said, the devil is not going to win this morning. How you doing, Meiyoko?
I am awesome.
Awesome, awesome. So, guys, we're
I,
going to be. Go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, listen, the last time I talked to you, well, not the last time, but the last time I remember actually seeing you, you were pregnant,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you are pregnant again.
yeah. President again. I think I had another baby in between the last time we saw each other and I
And wow,
so
so this is another one.
yeah, it's another one. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, well, my wife just had our first daughter 2 months ago, so yeah, it's been awesome. It's been pretty amazing. Yeah.
Congratulations. I know
Thank
you're
you.
going to
Thank you.
spoil that little girl. Girls do
Oh
something
my
to
God.
men.
The moment I saw her, the moment I
Yes,
saw her.
that is it. She's in trouble now. She's in some big, big trouble.
Yeah.
Yes, congrats. I want to look on your
Thank you.
page to find some pictures of the baby. Oh.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Meiyoko, for joining me on my show. And I know you and I have been following each other for years, a very, very long time. And I'm so happy that we were able to cross paths. I feel that what you have to offer to my particular audience is definitely a need and a necessity. So I love this topic, the power of knowing your audience,
Right.
which is huge, and it really brings us as entrepreneurs back down to basics, where while we're trying to build offers and we're questioning ourselves and wondering are we doing the right thing, is sometimes just tweaking that audience piece is going to be tremendous. So I know today we have points to go over, and I look forward to jumping on in. So you ready?
Oh, absolutely. I'm ready.
Awesome, awesome. So you call yourself the trajectory changer. Explain that a little bit. Like go into your whole intro.
Well, see, the thing about that is we're all headed down a path. Like that's all a
Mhm.
trajectory is, right? We're all heading down a particular path. Usually, that path is somewhere that needs to be changed, adjusted, or some type of alteration needs to be done to it. So, what I often find when I meet somebody, because I didn't start off with branding and business and all that stuff. I started off with NLP and life coaching and
Oh, I
personal
know.
development and all that stuff. So, I would meet a lot of people that were like, I feel like I'm lacking fulfillment. I'm heading down this particular path, but I don't think it's necessarily the path that I want to go. So
Yeah.
I would meet them and I would ask them all these questions. And then it's just like, oh my God, you completely transformed like the path that I was taking. I really thought it was the path, but something was off. But when I met you and we started coaching, you kind of brought out some things out of me that I didn't know were there. And
Hmm.
I'm really not on the path to fulfillment. So
Hmm.
people were like, "Oh my God, you changed my trajectory, and
Hmm.
you changed my life." And so people started coining that. That's not a corny phrase that I gave myself. That's just something
Yeah.
that people just ultimately started to call me because
That's
that's what I
that
look to do,
word,
though.
that power word that you gave them. Yeah.
Right, right. But that's what I look to do, though. I mean, isn't life all about going down the path that you're chosen and purpose to do anyway? So
Hmm.
if I can help a person do that, whether in life or business,
Hmm.
then that's what I'm going to do. And thank God I have a gifting to be able to do that.
Okay.
I often tell people that I didn't choose coaching; coaching chose me. This is something
Hmm.
that I've been doing for a very, very long time, without the certifications and all that stuff. I mean, I've gotten those things, but even if I never received any paper, any certificate, this is something that I know that I'm purposed to do, and I enjoy doing it. This is more of like a calling and a purpose for me. So I take it a lot more serious than a lot of other people.
Yeah. So just to make people clear on where your lane is like because NLP going from that to now you're venturing into the well, you always have ventured into that business coaching. Like which spectrum do you feel you are? Because I know a lot of NLP people. I know a lot
Right?
tons. Okay. And they stay in that self-development lane, and
Mhm.
it's a different environment when you go from working with a regular person to now working with business owners and getting them to know their audience and all that stuff, because you do done for you programs and you do it yourself programs. So what was the shift for you to go from straight NLP to now business development?
My own life.
Okay.
God willing, I'll be 40 this month, and I have been in entrepreneurship since I've been 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I just apply the things that I personally gone through and were
That's it.
fascinated about and started to teach others how to do it.
That's it.
That is the most simplistic answer I can possibly give
That's
you.
it.
It wasn't anything that I woke up one day and said, "Hey, I'm going to teach entrepreneurs or leaders or all
Mm-hmm.
these, like celebrities and prominent people." No, no. It was because I looked at what do I do best and what has been some of my experiences.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when I started doing that, then I started doing the branding and the entrepreneurship and
Mm-hmm.
all that other stuff because the reality was I was my particular market.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started to attract those particular people. That's why your messaging is, again, very, very
Very
important.
important. See, that's your invisible difference because I do see that in this online space of NLPs trying to get into that business side and they don't do so good at it because they haven't even mastered their own business. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
I wanted to, and that was not on our agenda today, but I wanted, since you mentioned NLP, I wanted to sort of touch on that for a moment. And because I like the fact that you did that transition, and people in the business world need that NLP side, but they need the right person to teach them with the business
Right.
and also the mindset piece, which NLP is way more deeper than, oh my, I got a life coaching certificate and things.
Oh yeah.
It's a whole. I have my own NLP coach as well, and she has helped me a lot. But it's most of the times those stay in their lane. They don't go into the other side of the business side. So I'm glad that
Well,
you did, and you figured out a way to do it by just talking about referencing your own experience.
well, the reason why I even got into NLP is because I was going through things in my own life at the time.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, I need to, rewire my mind, do a lot of things, shifting internally.
Break out of your limiting
So,
beliefs.
so
Mm-hmm.
all those things. So I went and actually started studying it myself and
Mm-hmm.
then got certifications and all that. So it was for me first. It was always for me first.
There you
But then
go.
I saw the impact that it had on me, and I said, wow, what if I can show others how to do this? And why? Who not more perfect than an entrepreneur? Listen, guys and girls, we go through so many emotional ups and downs
That's right.
having a business, whether it be through with family members, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
through people that we so-called competitors, and maybe we'll get into that a little later about why I don't
There we
think there's any
go.
competition. But it's so many things that we go through, so many emotional roller coasters. So NLP for me was just like, okay, I need some tools on how to really navigate
Yep.
mentally and emotionally in my life. So that's how the NLP started. I just fell in love with it at that point.
Yep. And you mentioned a key point where you said you did it for yourself first. You didn't just get into it and say, well, I heard once you get that certificate, you can charge a buku load of money to people. It's like you did the transformation for yourself first. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm glad we went over that first because that is definitely important. There's a little bit of a background noise on your end, but I think that's yeah, you're
Oh,
good.
that's on
Yeah.
my end.
Yeah.
Are we good?
You're good. Yep, you're good. So let's jump into this first question, okay? Where, and you and I have been going back and forth with this. And one of the things that when it comes to audience is that if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to you're talking to you aren't talking to anybody. What is your perspective on that?
I definitely think you have to have a specific audience, but here's the way I look at that. A lot of people will
Okay.
go through demographics. When they say find the ideal audience, it's age, profession, and all those things. I go through psychographics. This is why I've been able to coach different types of people from professional athletes to regular working professionals to stay-at-home moms. Like it's been diverse, and people are
Mhm.
like, you're all over the place. I'm really not. I
Oh, I hate
focus
that word.
on I focus on the want and the need and the individual first.
Hmm.
Then what happens is I'll go outward and say, hey, you know what does this person normally do for a living?
Hmm.
Is there any age demographic? So I focus on the need and the want first.
Hmm.
And then it so happens that sometimes it trickles into different professions.
Hmm.
So I had to explain that to somebody. They're like, oh, wow, I get it. So let me give you an example. Instead of focusing on a 50-year-old architect, right,
Hmm.
that makes $100,000 a year, I may focus on someone who's working in a career and they don't seem as fulfilled as they would like to be.
Hmm.
And their is to start a business. right?
Mhm.
That
Yep.
could be 5 different professions,
That's right.
but they
That's
all
right.
share the same problem.
Yeah.
So that's where I pretty much base. So my niche is on the problem. I
On the
focus on the
problem, you
problem,
reverse engineered it. Yeah.
right? And that's what people don't realize. The gold is in focusing on the problems that they're
Hmm.
having. If you can explain, like, if you can explain a problem that a person is having better than they can explain themselves,
Yep.
you will automatically, subconsciously be deemed the expert in their mind without them
Hmm.
even knowing it. And that's like an NLP tip for you.
Yeah.
Know the problem better than they do.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, you will get the client. Like just recently, I got a new client, and when I was explaining them what they were going through, he was like, "Oh my God, you're in my head."
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said, "You are literally in my head right now. This is what I was just thinking." And when you focus on the pain, or the pain points, what people want to call them, so much to where you can actually be in that person's head,
Hmm.
that person automatically gives you that credibility instantly.
Right
Like,
away.
this is the person that I need to work with because they know exactly what I'm thinking.
Hmm. And if you're
So
just
that's
relying on their profession, you're really limiting yourself. Like I have literally 3 types of audiences because, like you said, I focus on what is the problem that they have that I can provide them a solution for. And I had a lot of coaches that try to fit me into a box and say, no, only focus on this particular person because you can't pill over. And I'm like, well, I can
right.
because my content doesn't just speak to that particular person, it speaks to 2, 3, 4 other different types of women as well. So I totally get that. When people say that, oh, you're all over the place, it's not that. It's just you just reverse engineered the process by first starting with the problem, then working your way backwards. You know what I mean? So now you can
Right.
work with the various type of people, like you said, athletes, stay-at-home moms, things like that,
Right.
and you're broadening your audience. Yeah,
Right. So it looks like it's all over the place, but it's very focused. It's very
yeah,
targeted.
yeah.
And what happens is you get a lot more clients,
Hmm.
you make a lot more money,
Yep.
and you really become an expert. And but I really want to stress that when you're focusing on these problems, your gifting or your expertise has to be able to provide a solution
Hmm.
to that problem. I have to definitely put that out there. I don't want anybody to think, "Oh my God, I'm going to focus on these problems,"
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then they don't have what it takes to create an offer or to produce the outcome that that person is
Hmm.
looking for. So I got to make that clear.
Hmm. Hmm. I totally agree on that. I totally agree on that. You don't want to jump into this big sea and then not have what people need to offer because then
Right.
that's not of integrity. It ruins your credibility in
Right.
your business. And I know just off of that, what you just said definitely provided people with a breakthrough to get more clear on, you know, I always say, what is your product? What do you have to offer? You get what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but since everything's been going on since early this year, now being an entrepreneur is the cool thing. Like, oh, I want to start a business now, where for me, doing this for a long period of time and leaving my job almost 3 years ago, back then it wasn't the cool thing, now it
Right.
is. So people need to sort of slow down a little bit and realize, saying, first, let's focus on what you're selling. Like, I know you probably get this with everyone has a passion to do something, but they haven't really sat down, designed an actual offer.
Right.
And it gets kind of grueling for us as mentors, as coaches, to coach them because they're going off of passion, which is okay, but they're
Hmm.
not really going off of saying, well, this is the product that I want to offer, and this is why, and you get what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I'll even go even further back. Like,
Go
most
ahead.
people don't know what their zone of genius is.
That's true.
Like, we
Hmm.
all have an area of genius, and I really focus on that. And just to give you guys like a little tip, because you hear a lot of people say genius, focus on your area of genius, right? Here's how you figure out where your area of genius is. One, your life experiences,
Hmm.
that which you
Write
have
it down, guys.
experiences in. It could be a situation that you were in, a rock bottom from there, where you were then to where you are now, doing very well. So
Hmm.
life experience, your passion,
Hmm.
okay, and your gifts and your talents.
Hmm.
Your area of genius, when you figure out what those 3 things are, now you can really start to narrow in or dial in to what your area of genius is, because it's there. We all have one. We all
And you
have
know
one of those.
what? When you do that, though, Miyoko, and you could totally agree with me. while you're building this amazing business, that and when things get frustrating, because it's not always cool to build a business. There's
Oh
sometimes
no.
where, even for myself, I'll get like, oh my God, there's so much to do. And you deal with clients sometimes that are just hard to move forward or whatever, but it
Right.
keeps you in business because you started with those three things. It keeps you moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So let's jump over to two, which is when you know your audience, you know their problem.
Oh, absolutely. So I want you to, what I would tell everybody listening, right? I often tell my clients to focus on three major pain points that your client has.
Mm-hmm.
What is keeping them up at night? I mean, you can just
Mm-hmm.
stop and ask yourself that.
Yeah.
Like, what is that conversation that they're having with their wife, their husband, themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is really keeping them up at night? And when you figure out what that is, you figure out how they're feeling. What are
Mm-hmm.
they thinking? What is it costing them not to solve this problem?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you
The
really dive
behavior.
into that pain point.
Mm-hmm.
Once you do that, hopefully, with your expertise, you have the solution for that particular pain point or that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start really diving into, all right, how does my expertise bring the solution to this particular pain point, to this
Mm-hmm.
problem?
Mm-hmm.
And you focus on nothing but that.
Mm-hmm.
Ignore all the marketing jargon, the self-proclaimed guru stuff. Focus on the pain point and how your expertise provides a solution. And then what happens then is that filters into your copy, into
Mm-hmm.
your marketing. So when
Mm-hmm.
you're
You're speaking
speaking,
their language. Yep.
you're speaking directly to the pain and to the
Mm-hmm.
problem of the person. And this is where we get messed up. We get shiny object syndrome and we go after all these different things.
That's right.
And we end up taking this course and that course and that course, and we end up spinning our wheels like a
Yeah.
hamster wheel,
I
right?
call them tire pushers. Just keep.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So these people want help, but they're really not understanding the essence of marketing and branding and
Mm-hmm.
attracting your audience, because you don't have to compete with everybody else, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't.
You just have to operate in your genius and know the person's problems better than they do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you don't
Absolutely.
learn anything from this broadcast, know your problem, know their problem better than they do, and operate in your area of genius. If you don't know what that is, it's time for you to find it.
That's it. And that's what people are going to hit that, buy button. It's like a lot of like branding coaches and other coaches out there in this coaching space. They want you to focus on the logo and the design of your website and all that. And you can get all that and still not get traction and still not really
Right.
sit down and narrow down what they want. So everybody's trying to make this pretty brand, but but they're not setting their businesses up for profit. So I have a client that she's like, oh coach, I want to do a logo, but she's so stuck on how she wants it to look. I said, then you don't need to be focusing on a logo this month. You need to focus on where do you want to play at in your business? Like, what is it that
Right.
you're extremely passionate about offering? And because that's the main thing. The logo, I didn't get a logo until probably like maybe 6-7 years into my business, because I didn't want to
Okay.
like have something done and then later on feel like, well, that's not me anymore. Like my logo now, that's me. I'm going to use it for ever and ever and ever. But I didn't start with that. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to
Right.
realize, and you mentioned it, like starting with the right thing, you know, is very, very important. Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to admit this, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm going to admit it anyway.
Go ahead.
For years, I didn't have a functioning website.
Yeah.
Like, I pretty much got clients based on social selling, social media.
That's it. I still don't have
So
a website.
I really didn't have a website. I didn't need one.
I don't need it either.
People,
I've never made money off of a website. I
right.
don't
So
need it.
I attracted people based on my messaging
Yep.
and what I talked about. So now I do have a site, but it's like set up in a way where it makes sense to me. It's like a funnel.
Yeah.
You go to my site, you click something, you download something, and you have the opportunity to set up an appointment. Like, it's very simple.
Yeah. And it's like I feel like for my
I was going to say, you don't need this bells and whistles website.
No, you don't. You don't. And that can actually distract your audience. Because, while your audience is searching for a solution to that problem that they have, going to your site can actually deter them for actually working with you. When you send them a link that takes them straight to what you're offering, That's much better, because sometimes if they're clicking two or more things, they'll hop off the site and don't decide to take action on anything. So no,
Right.
I don't have a
You can give them
website. I
something.
paid for one, but I'm not, it's not on my radar right now.
Right.
But again, I'm not downing anybody who has one. I'm just saying, like, maybe instead of trying to spend another more money on getting somebody to update your site, think about what can you create that actually is just puts that solution in front of your audience's faces, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah. So let's go to number 3, and this is good. I love this conversation. When you know your audience problems, you know how to market your solution. You did answer that by tapping, writing down the 3 pain points of your audience. But
Right.
yeah, go more deeper into it.
So here's the problem. Excuse me. Here's the problem with a lot of people.
Hmm.
We develop this offer and we think it's so awesome, it's so amazing, and then we go. I mean, we go hardcore. We start marketing this thing, and then we don't sell anything. And
Yeah.
then, matter of fact, let me share a quick story. So, I was coaching this one client. I threw everything at her: bells, whistles, NLP, all these different things. She was like, "It was so amazing. I learned so much, but it wasn't what I needed." And I was just like, "Hold up, girl." I was like, "Listen, I threw all this at you, like, man, all this transformational stuff. Like, I gave you everything. Like, I put
Uh-huh.
up 50% of what I do. You know what I'm saying?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she was like, "It was great, but it wasn't really what I needed." And I was like, "Oh my God!" I was focused more on what I was trying to show her
Yeah.
instead of really what her pain points were and what she really needed. And that changed
Mm.
everything for me. So I learned that your solution has to speak to the pain points and the major problems that your audience is currently experiencing. And listen to this, what they want to change right now.
Right now, this very second.
Not
And
yesterday, right now. And I'll go even further.
yeah.
And they are willing and able to pay for it.
Yep, that's right. There you go.
Very, very important things. Two very important things.
Yep. Yep. Sasha said that statement alone hit home for her. One of the things that have changed
Good.
my coaching program, because I just started a new cycle, was I just asked my clients, what did they wanted me to start, what did they wanted me to start, and what did they wanted me to keep? Because I was really just trying to design a new cycle around what I felt that they wanted to learn, instead of asking them, well, what do you guys need help with now? So that made me restructure, when you're building a course and you have your whole
Right.
outline of what you're going to go over every week. That totally made me throw out what I had originally, and just I started off with a white sheet of paper and just really literally just took, like, I always like to ask questionnaires. I've never had a coach that will give you a questionnaire. Never. I never had a mentor that did that. I don't know if they're afraid to get feedback or listen to what their past or current clients have to say. But I'm like, I want to, if you want to make things better, you want to hear and know what people want and what they don't want,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So when I
Well,
did,
well,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's the difference that makes you a really a purpose-driven coach, as opposed to a coach that's just trying to get into the industry because it's hot. It's a multi-billion-dollar
Oh,
industry.
yeah. Yeah.
So that's the difference. Like I tell people, listen, if you think I absolutely stunk,
Just
let me
tell me.
know,
I
please,
say, don't be kind. Be
please,
honest. Yeah, please.
please, because I don't get that often because I don't coach everybody. Like
I
I
don't.
have to be, we have to have a particular chemistry. The energy has to be there. Like I really have to, and it's so weird because it's just something that I can feel out. It's weird. I can explain it, but what I'm saying is
Yeah.
like
It's like they're in your zone. Yeah.
how do you know where you need to improve if you don't get any feedback? Like that's the problem with some people.
Mm.
You're so scared to be criticized. But listen, aren't we gonna grow? Aren't we? The only way you can grow and learn is from things that we call mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really learn and grow from the victories. You grow
Mm-hmm.
from the journey. It's the journey.
Yes. Yeah.
So listen, it may
I,
be a little
yeah.
painful. It may you may have some tears, but you got to go through the process anyway.
And this is part of business. I just feel like there's a narcissistic side to coaching, like not to diagnose
Oh
anybody,
yeah.
but I do feel that these coaches, I've dealt with some that have these huge, humongous egos, where it's like the client's the problem, not me. And it gets like if you're dealing with somebody that's like that, you don't need to be around them. It's just like, let me know, because I want to make this better for you guys. I'm not a mind reader, but I also know when somebody's not moving forward, and I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at what I need to do, because everybody's learning style is different. Mine is very
Right.
different. I'm not a textbook coach. Like, you have to show me how to do it in order for me to do it, or else I'm not
Right.
going to do it. Other people are
Right.
different. Like me and my daughter are two different types of people. She'll read something and execute, but me, I like the whole pop-up book effect. Like, show me the pop-up book, the castle and everything. And I'm
Ah,
like,
okay.
oh, I
Okay.
get it now. You know?
Right.
And some of your clients are like that. And the thing is, if you're not nurturing those clients who are like the pop-up book clients, they're going to feel like everybody else is ahead of them. You ever felt that way when you was doing courses, like with some clients?
Oh,
That,
of
and I'm like,
course.
no, you're not ahead. You're
We
all
all
y'all
learn
different.
we learn differently.
Yeah, but it's because of the style of the coaching that's making them feel that way.
Absolutely.
I feel like a lot of times with some coaches, some mentors, they will so like their favorite ones are the ones that's getting it and moving forward every week. But the ones that need a little more help, those are the best testimonials.
Oh yeah.
Those are the best. I put those on my sales pages, and it's like, because those are the ones that you spend, yeah, those are the best.
Right.
Instead of getting
Right.
frustrated with them, those are the ones that are the best to get into action with. Yeah,
It's funny since we're on this topic, right?
yeah,
Like sometimes I make people laugh because I mean, I have worksheets and all that stuff, but for the most part, I get on a Zoom call and I'm asking them questions and I'm like, all right, do you have a pen or some paper, pencil? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, good, because you're going to be taking notes. And they're like,
yeah.
oh. And the reason why I do that is because we can all print out worksheets, and I've taken a lot of courses printing out worksheets, done them, some
Yeah.
I haven't. But when I'm sitting there writing, taking down my own notes,
Yep.
it really does something for my psyche. Like it does,
Yeah.
it allows me to retain the information, the knowledge
Mhm.
better, and it makes me have a more of an unction to implement it. So
Mhm.
I tell people, listen, I'm the type of coach, bring a notepad and
Mhm. Let's
something to
do
write
the
with,
work.
because I don't want to just give you strategy. I want to
Mhm.
teach you how to fish. I want to teach you how to
Mhm.
do these particular things. So you don't need me. And you probably don't hear that from a lot of coaches.
Mm.
I want you to get to the point where you're self-sufficient and you can do these things on your own, and you come back for me for a tune-up.
Exactly, and just for the
You know,
overall experience.
yeah, if I'm coaching you, whatever regularly, it's tune-up stuff
That's right. And it's
where
not
I'm
a bad
showing you
thing that
something
you have
different that
clients
I've
with
learned.
you for years. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes like I have clients that's been with me for years. I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 years. And that's not a bad thing that you have clients that keep coming back over
Right,
and over and over again, because a lot of times they're just around you for that experience. They just need that your presence and need to still be in your world,
right.
and that's a good thing. And I like how you mentioned that you want them to really do the work. I've changed my whole learning portal to where I can actually see if they're doing the work. Like, I can actually see it, because the real coaching happens in between the
Ah,
calls. It happens for
right.
me, because the real transformation happens from Sunday to Sunday, not just every Sunday. So I totally get
Right.
that 100%. And that brings us to our fourth point, which is when you know your audience, you know what language to use. And we did talk about that, but
Ah,
yeah, readdress
yes.
it again. Yeah.
Yes. So all right. So here's the thing. The fancy coach jargon and all the stuff we see on these copy ads and sales pages, nobody talks like that.
No.
So you have to understand what type of language your audience connects to. I'm not going to go into a room full of Wall Street attorneys
Mm-hmm.
and talk to them in an area where there's the language there that I am not completely in alignment with. Like, for example, I'm going to talk to your audience, Letitia, differently than I'm going to talk to somebody on Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
So I may be talking semantics and income and all these other things. Like, that's the language that they're speaking, right?
That's right.
They have completely different pain points than your audience does. But if I come back to you guys and say, you know, how does it feel when you're losing income, when you're putting so much into your business and you're not getting anything out of it? And, you know, how does it feel about having the right mindset? Are you instilling the right habits in your business? That's the language. So I'm speaking to that particular audience.
Yeah, I like that you said that. That brings me back to some things, because I got approached with the ugly side of coaching, where it's like they market a lifestyle, right? But when you get into that program, they're not really speaking or have a solution to your problem. Their first leg up was on, I'm on an island, or I have a car, I have a mansion, this. And like you said, it's that shiny object effect. And so you got to be very careful with that, because if you're not, you know, working with somebody that can fill a need, you're going to find that you're going to be spending 15 to, I don't know. I know one client, I remember she was telling me she spent over 100K on a coach. And you sort of, you know, I call it that, you know, there's a word for it, but it can't come, it's not coming to my head right now. But yeah, I know that's what, I feel like that's what you're leading to. Go ahead.
No, so no, you're right. And I mean, here's the thing. Like, the way you speak your language has to include their return on their investment.
That's true.
I'm going to say that again. It has to include their return on investment. If they feel like they are investing in something that will not give them a return, then you're going to have a problem.
And return on your investment is not you offering a affiliate package. Because they're not.
Say what
oh, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No.
It doesn't have to always be monetary.
Yes. Correct. Yes. Because if they're not getting a transformation, they're not going to talk about it to others and say, "Hey, come over here." So I actually take it out of my packages. I don't offer that at all. I mean, granted, if I have a client that says, "Well, this girl needs you," yeah, I'll give her some kickback or what have you. But that's not the main reason of where I say, because that's how a lot of the coaches say, like, "Oh, this is how you're going to get a return on your investment. Just share my program." I'm like, wait a minute, I have my own program. I want you to share your program.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, so I get that. I get that part. Yes.
Yeah, the return on investment is how is this going to benefit your life or make it better?
Exactly.
Sometimes it's financial, but sometimes it's not monetarily, but it can lead to a lot of financial things based on eliminating or getting rid of this particular problem.
That's right.
So what's the ROI? What's the return on investment? So ask yourself, guys and gals, what's the return on investment on your product, your program?
That's right. What is the return on your investment? That part. Okay, so when you know your audience, you can create better products and services.
And I think we're talking about that right now.
That's right.
Let's get into that.
When you ask them those questions, when you really dive deep, when you're listening, it just it's like a wine, like a fine wine. Every year it just gets better and better and better. To the point where you may have to turn some people down because you're getting too many. You know, obviously as a mentor, there's so many people you can work with, where you're going to have like a limiter on how many people to work with. Like my particular program, I can only offer twice a year. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but it's because you can focus exactly on what they need.
Oh, yes.
And what they want.
Go ahead, Pastor Meiyoko.
So you can master it. You can't master everything if you're all over the place.
That's right.
Like I am with this camera because I have to hold it.
We're making it happen. We're making it happen, though. Yes. Now let's jump into our bonus question, which is it would allow you to know your audience better than your competitors. Now you want to touch on that when I mentioned that yesterday. So go ahead. I'm gonna give you the floor.
Okay. When you operate in your zone of genius, you have no competitors. You have a unique ability, skill set, gift, quality that God has given you. You didn't earn it. You didn't work for it. You just were gifted this. So how can anybody compete with something that was uniquely given to you? You have an audience. You have a tribe, whatever you want to call it, of people that are waiting for what you offer, the solutions that you offer. You just got to tap into that genius. And a bit short and sweet. That's all I have to say about that question. Think about what's in you that you can do that a lot of people are like, oh my God, that's so amazing. And to you, it's just like, oh, that's nothing. It's that special talent that you think that is ordinary to you, but extraordinary to other people.
Ooh,
that's your genius. And when you tap into that, there's no competition for that. That was given to you.
Oh God,
and that's all I have to say about that.
I should ask for your Cash App so they could. That's a collective plate moment right there. So, yeah,
and that's the bottom line.
That's right. Period. Period. That's amazing. That's amazing. So listen, oh my God, this was an awesome, juicy conversation, Meiyoko, and I'm glad that you hopped on. Well, if you can let everybody know, what do you have coming up? I'm gonna put your information on the screen. I know it's scrolling on the bottom, but I'm gonna put it up. What's next for you?
So I have a framework, a program that I'm actually going to pre-launch, and it's called the Book Client Accelerator. It goes through messaging, your offer, a lot of things we talked about, and it's kind of like the next best experience to one-on-one with me. So I'm offering it now. You can actually sign up ahead of time, and from that, I'm starting to fuse more of the NLP and the peak performance coaching into the branding. So just be on the lookout. But yeah, that program is actually going to give you clarity on your message, your offer, how to attract the right audience without spending thousands on ads and all these things people tell you that you have, right? So I have that program up. I think you have the link.
Yep, it's on the screen.
And other than that, guys, just stay tuned. And Letitia, thank you for having me on. I support you 1,000%.
Yes, my brother.
We gotta do this again. Like this,
yes,
I enjoyed
my
this.
brother.
We gotta do this again. But yeah, that's it, guys.
Yeah, well, you one of my big brothers in this business. I got to give y'all love and credit because y'all are all paving the way for us. So I'm always watching. And anytime you want to get on my show, whatever it is that you're offering, I don't mind you offering that because I know that what you have to offer is what my audience needs.
Even if it's not an offering, even if it's to give value on a particular topic, I'm all for it because we need to be educated, informed, and impactful when it comes to our businesses.
That part. Absolutely. All right. You have a great day. Guys, if you got any value from watching this, please make sure that you share this out. Tag someone on here. Go to Meiko's page and make sure that you're friend requesting him. Let him know you come from me. Okay. And, get inside of whatever it is that he's doing. Follow him, support him. He's an amazing individual. You're welcome, Raj. You're welcome. All the ladies are thanking me for having you on. And
thank you so much, everybody.
Yes, and he will be on the show again. So thank you, Meiyoko, for joining, and I'll talk to you soon, bruh.
All right, thanks, Letitia.
Bye.